They didn't just lie to you, they built the world around those lies, dressed them up in suits and diplomas and screens and flags, and called it truth. Called it leadership, called it order. But it isn't order. It's theater. And every actor knows their line while you sit in the audience, clapping for your own captivity. They didn't just tell you government would protect you, they made you fear the idea of not having it. Made you beg for your own surveillance, applaud your own sedation. Vote for your own cage. The people you think are in power are puppets. The people you think are rebels are actors. The opposition is scripted. The conflicts are manufactured. The system doesn't need to crush you when it can just guide your rage into safe channels. Marches that lead nowhere. Hashtags that burn out. Talking heads that say just enough to keep you pacified, but never enough to set you free. You think MIA went missing? You think journalists disappear because of secrets? You think Hollywood sells movies? You think elections are battles? Planted people in planted places, shaping planted narratives, propped up with just enough dissent to keep you thinking you're watching democracy, but you're watching a rerun with new faces and the same agenda. They don't need tanks in the street when they've got thought leaders on the payroll and influencers pushing psyops disguised as consciousness. You want to know who the real enemy is? It's the story that makes you believe you're weak. The script that tells you you're alone. The voice that says the only way forward is through the channels they gave you. But you weren't meant to follow paths. You were meant to burn them. You weren't meant to ask permission. You were meant to question everything. And the hardest pill to swallow, most people don't want freedom. They want comfort, safety in the hands of their captors. Rebellion that feels exciting but leads nowhere. They want to post about waking up while still plugged into a system that feeds on their sleep. So what now? You get quiet. You stop worshiping personality. You stop trusting applause. You stop following pre-approved prophets. And you start watching the patterns, tracking the symbols, decoding the inversion. You stop needing to be liked and start needing to be clear, because the world is a script, a stage. And the only real rebellion left is thinking for yourself. You want more? You want to know what's actually going on beneath the headlines, beyond the staged debates and filtered narratives? What happens when the cameras stop, the lights go off, the mics are muted? Let's talk about the billion-dollar tech projects buried beneath the desert and oceans, the research facilities that no one's allowed to ask about, the rituals disguised as galas, the launches labeled as science that look a whole lot more like symbolism. Let's talk about the surveillance state that pretends to be convenience, the injections that were never about health, about the alphabet agencies playing God with human behavior under the name of national interest. Schools designed to kill creativity, food engineered to dull your instincts, meds that mask the real illness, disconnection from yourself. The tech you sleep next to, the devices you willingly place near your brain, the biometric data you trade for likes, and the recommendations that know you better than your mother. Operation Mockingbird never ending. Handlers dressed as healers. Culture itself being farmed and harvested by a machine you weren't supposed to see. You were born into a spell, a world scripted by architects who don't believe in God but play one, who believe your livestock except for your attention, which they consider holy ground. Because if they can control your attention, they don't need to control anything else. You'll do it by yourself. You'll call it freedom. You'll fight their wars and defend their lies and destroy anyone who shows you the mirror. And the kicker, they made it cool to stay asleep. Made rebellion trendy but toothless. Made questioning unfollowable. Made you fear your own intuition, so you scroll, you shop, you post, you doubt and you obey, thinking somewhere deep down you're still in control, but you're not. Not until you stop, until you see. Because once you see, there's no going back. Not the blue pill, not to the news, not to the left or the right, not to the programs dressed up as personality. You want more? Then stop waiting to be fed. The truth is already here, but it'll cost you your illusions. Humanfluence, out.